Against Cadiz, Real Madrid's Antonio Rudiger was racially abused by the fans. This all went down because those on the scene witnessed Rudiger remove his shirt and try to give it to a fan of his club. Instead of allowing this to take place, fans pelted him with drinks and called him names, including the P word and countless middle fingers. Guillermo Rey of The Athletic took the following video. He backed the accounts of Rudiger giving his kit to a fan, while Cadiz fans pelted him with objects and called him an SOB. This all occurred after the fixture ended with a 2-0 win for Los Blancos. Players from the losing side would confront Rudiger. The fact remains, the lack of protections for black players in this league feels intentional at this point, with the league's president and those around him doing very little to help the cause. Via Real Madrid Videos TV, more objects thrown in Rudiger's direction. Here is the latest. The Associated Press would back the original reporting on the ground of racism taking place. Many videos were posted from the stands after the game's conclusion. Sport Bible transcribes some of the hateful rhetoric heard from Cadiz fans that you see on your screen. If there are no punishments by the league, this will only continue to happen each and every match day. His teammate, the brilliant Vinicius Jr., was racially abused prior to a match against rival Atletico Madrid. In this city, a black doll was hung over a highway with Vinicius's jersey on the dummy. In the streets, Atleti fans continued the onslaught. This all went down prior to the Madrid derby. Against Real Valladolid, the abuse continued against the Brazilian. Then, against Spanish side Mallorca, fans filmed themselves racially abusing Vinicius some more. They called him, quote, a monkey. He would go on to be fouled 10 times by the club's players. The AP would write, Spanish soccer has been marred by racism this season, with Rudiger's teammate Vinicius having been targeted during several matches. Earlier this month, the Brazilian forward testified against a Mallorca fan who was accused of calling him a monkey during a match. The same fan was also accused of insulting a Villarreal midfielder in another match. The Spanish league has filed several formal complaints to authorities over insults against Vinicius, with some of them having already been shelved. The league also recently increased the number of monitors at Madrid matches to identify perpetrators. I would see that the outlet would report that 12 season ticket holders would have their seats revoked. Here's my question. Why is this taking so long? After Lukaku scored to make it 1-1, he struck this pose in front of the racist fans. Juventus players confronted the Belgian and a scuffle broke out between both sides. You can see some members of Inter put their arms around Lukaku while others pushed and shoved near the spot. Lukaku would walk away, but the ref would hunt him down, giving him a second yellow, and thus he was forced to be removed from the match. Players were livid with the decision. Colombian Juan Cuadrado of Juventus would push Lukaku, and the Belgian would push back. The beautiful game, once again, rears its ugly head. For Lukaku, it is another instance of racism, no matter where he is in the world. Bigoted minds just seem to attack him for simply existing. He is represented by Rock Nation Sports International. They wrote in a statement, he was targeted prior to kickoff, during the match, and after the penalty. They are calling out Juventus to issue an apology and the authorities demanding action be taken. Michael R. Yormak, Rock Nation Sports' international president, wrote in a statement the following: tonight's racist remarks made towards Romelu Lukaku by Juventus fans were despicable and cannot be accepted. The Italian authorities must use this opportunity to tackle racism rather than punish the victim of the abuse. I am certain that the footballing world shares the same sentiment. We have come to expect disappointment in how various leagues in this sport tackle racism. Serie A is no different. In a statement, it strongly condemned all instances of it, but did not name the Belgian. A few people in the stands can't ruin football and don't represent all the fans at the stadium. Serie A clubs will, as they always have, be able to find the individuals responsible and ban them for life from their grounds. Lukaku would write on Instagram, history repeats itself. Been through it in 2019 and 2023 again. I hope the league really take action for real this time, because this beautiful game should be enjoyed by everyone. Thank you for the supportive messages, blank racism. This is in reference to his previous stint in Serie A, when monkey chants were directed at him in a match against Cagliari, when he again took a penalty. In response, Serie A did very little at the time, refusing to sanction the club. In response, the club would argue the monkey chants are not racist, and they labeled the backlash to them an outrageous claim. Those appointed to investigate matters like these at the time said there simply was not enough proof. And to make matters worse, a supporters club of Inter Milan, who Lukaku was previously with at the time, wrote in a statement on their Facebook page, which took aim at Lukaku, "In Italy, we use some ways to help our teams and try to make our opponents nervous. It's not racism. We're just doing it to mess them up." That was their reply. Hey, we can't be racist. We're just doing something to try and make the other team fail, even if what we're doing is actually racist. Then there was a newspaper in Italy who put out this incredibly tone-deaf front page post, right? And it had Lukaku and former Roma man Chris Smalling plastered on the front with the title, Black Friday. This is the sort of behavior that needs to be eradicated from the sport.